So I'm gonna start off by just acknowledging that this entire video might sound like an ad, but I promise you that it is not. There are no sponsored links, there are no promo codes, I wasn't paid to make this video, I wasn't asked to make this video. In fact, I actually asked if I could make this video because I think that it's gonna be really helpful, especially for anybody who's looking at buying some camera gear. I've followed CanonPriceWatch for a few years now to keep an eye on prices, so if there's something that I'm interested in buying, I can not only see the best price, but I can also see that item's price history. So for example, if I search for the EOS R, I not only see the current advertised prices, but I can click on the item itself, and then I can see the price history. So for example, with the EOS R, I can see that it originally came out at $2,300, and then in May of 2019, it dropped down to $2,000 and has pretty much stayed there. And same thing if I do like the 6D Mark II, which is one of my favorite cameras. I can click on that and I can see the entire price history. And you can see since that camera's been out longer, its price history is a little crazier. Started at $2,000, it's dropped all the way down, and now it's evening out more around $1,200 and $1,300 because it's a couple years old. Now, as the name suggests, CanonPriceWatch does focus mostly on Canon gear, but they also do track prices on some third-party products and accessories, so it's kind of one of the first places I go to anytime that I'm shopping for anything. But that's not the reason I wanted to make this video. I wanted to make this video specifically to talk about CanonPriceWatch's street price option, which is something that, like, honestly, I can't believe I don't hear more about. Basically, when you look up the price of something, you'll see what it's selling for at major retailers like B&H or Amazon, but you'll also see a street price option, which is unique to CanonPriceWatch and is usually a lower price, and sometimes it's a lot lower. And the whole process sounds a little bit strange at first, but I've used it several times myself and I've liked it so much that obviously like I'm making a video about it because I think that it's so helpful. If you're interested in buying something through Street Price, you just click on the link, and then the first step is that you fill out a short form. The cool part about this is there is an additional comment section, so if you have any specific questions about the item or options or shipping or tax or whatever, you can just ask those right there. And then once you fill it out, usually pretty quickly, the most amazing thing happens. An actual human being sends you a response email with all of the information about that deal for that item. The only catch with Street Price is that you don't find out where you're buying the item from until you're ready to go through with the purchase. So by the time you're actually paying and giving your payment info, you know where it's going. But when you're first finding out about the price, you don't know who the retailer is. If you want to go more in-depth on street prices, you can go to the FAQ section on the CanonPriceWatch website. And one of the things they address there is why they can't disclose the resellers, and it has to do with, in 2014, Canon USA began enforcing a strict minimum advertised price on lenses and bodies. And that means that retailers can't show a price below a certain amount, which is why when you work with the Street Price program, you can be in direct contact and then you can get a different deal that can't just be advertised regularly on the public website. But the good news is that regardless of which retailer is used, they are all Canon authorized resellers, and all of the items are brand new with USA warranties. So there's nothing that's like used, there's nothing that's gray market, there's nothing that's just something out of some dude's basement and you don't know the history behind it. I've actually gone through and purchased several items through Street Price, but I've also just done a bunch of inquiries, and a lot of the time the resellers are stores and retailers that I've actually heard of and used just on my own. The one time I haven't heard of the reseller was when I bought my Canon EOS R, but once I checked them out, they seemed super legit, and then once I dealt with them, they were amazing, and now they're like one of my favorite places to go. If I'm looking for camera gear, that's like one of the places I check right away if it's not CanonPriceWatch. And that's really my favorite part about Street Price, other than saving a lot of money, is the service. If you're like me and you do a lot of online shopping, you're not really used to service, so the fact that like an actual human being contacts you from CanonPriceWatch and answers any questions you have about the deal, then if you're ready to buy the item, they put you in direct contact with another human being from the reseller, and then you work with that person to finish the deal. You're actually dealing with real people every step of the way. If you've ever gone to a big photo store like B&H where you actually get to sit and talk to someone and they can answer questions and you can be as weirdly specific as you want to be and as picky as you want to be. This is basically that. You get to have an actual like good salesperson answer questions and help you out and direct you where you need to go and then walk you through the actual purchase of the thing that you're looking to buy. I didn't realize how important to me that service was until I started experiencing it, because it really made a huge difference. And that's really one of the reasons I want to make this video, is because one of the most common types of questions and comments and messages that I get has to do with gear and where to buy gear and what kind of gear to buy. And the two biggest things that I've purchased so far are my EOS R, like I mentioned before, and then also the Sigma 24mm 1.4. So basically the whole setup that's filming this video was purchased through Street Price. And on those two items alone, I saved close to $1,000 because they were just such good deals available at the time, and they're perfect. They're both brand new items, full warranties, they came with free shipping, they even came with no sales tax. And that's why I know this whole video sounds like an ad, even though it's not an ad. I just want to shine a light on something positive and helpful, because there are so many weird and shady things out there. If you can save any amount of money and get good service, it's really helpful and it goes a long way. And I think that that's really important, to be smart with your money and how you spend it and how you invest in gear. And as I said, this video is not monetized. There are no affiliate links, there are no promo codes, there are no paid sponsorships. This is literally just me wanting to share something that I'm excited about and that I found helpful. My two biggest things that I've purchased through Street Price were the Canon EOS R and the Sigma 24mm 1.4 lens, both of which kind of live together because they're great, and I did do reviews on each of those, so I definitely recommend that you check those out, and if you like them, maybe you'll be able to find a good deal on them.